Yo, what up, everybody? It's Mr. Llama here, and I've got a little time to kill. That's a little close to the face. I got a little time to kill because I accidentally left one of my bags at the airport, and I am now in the mountains. Look how beautiful. Oh, gorgeous. I don't know if I should rotate it. Whatever. Gorgeous out there. Gorgeous out there. But yeah, so last night I flew in, I got all my stuff, I got my skis, which I didn't have the bindings on them yet. So I had my bindings in a separate bag. I was gonna get them drilled today, everything like that. And so I pick my bags up, I put them in the rental car, and everybody's like, oh no, let's get a different rental car, Mr. Llama. So I was like, all right, fine, we'll get the minivan. So we got the minivan, so I'm driving a mom van here. And so we get the van, and I think I swap all my bags, but apparently I leave the small one that has my helmet, my goggles, and my ski bindings. So I have skis with no bindings today. So I wake up this morning, getting ready to go, getting ready to get everything, and yeah, that was a fun surprise. So I ended up having to just rent gear today. But I was like, crap, where's my bag? Did I leave it? I don't know. I call the car rental place, and I'm like, hey, can you tell me if my bag is in your lost and found? And they're like, you're going to have to go online and file a lost item report. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, you're right there. Do you have my bag? I can tell you everything about the bag. It's gray and black and this, and like it has my name on it. Can you just tell me if you've found this bag here? And they're like, please go online, get a lost and found report number, and let us know. Let us know when you have that number and we can tell you. So I go online and I go through the whole thing, and it's like 20 pages, and it's all sorts of broken. Like when you try to punch your phone number in, it like dials in your area code twice, and I mean, it's just a mess of a form. I accidentally pressed the backspace once trying to back like what I typed, and it backed out of the entire page, and I lost all 20 pages worth of effort. So that was super annoying. But regardless, I was like, by the way, views again, right? Isn't this just stupid? Is that not the stupidest, most beautiful thing? Come on now. Anyway, so I go and I go through the whole process, and I get the number, and I call them back, and they're like, all right, like, what's your number? And I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it was, something simple like that. And she goes, oh, okay, I see you've put your report in now. Yeah, your bag's sitting right next to me. And I was like, are you kidding me? You couldn't just tell me that my bag was there? And she, I obviously didn't lose at her. This was in my mind, but I was just like, wow, what a great system you have. Thank you for your time. So I'm back on my way to the airport from the stupid ski resort out in the mountains at like 6 o'clock right now. I'm not going to get back to I'll get to the airport, turn around, go back. I probably won't get back to like 10, something like that. So I'm not crazy happy. This is probably like the most upset you'll see me right here, because I was just like, oh, and I don't know. I feel like there's no way to get my bag. I was like, maybe I could have them like express deliver it overnight to my, where we're staying, or I don't know. I don't know if there's any good solution to that, but I decided to drive back. So we're on the drive. I thought I could maybe convince one of the people I was with to come with me, but nobody else wants to make that drive. Which, man, sorry, I had like burp stuck in my throat. Nobody else wants to make that drive, which I can't blame them. Like, I mean, it's a pretty crappy drive. I'm on the tons of tight like pin turns as you're getting off the mountain right now. So it's a lot of fun having to U-turn every like mile or something. But whatever, no more complaining. So I went skiing today, and it was good. It was hard. So this is my second time skiing. My first time was like a month ago or whatever, and I loved it so much I was like, I want to go again. So I decided to go again, and it was fun. We had like kind of a group of various levels and whatnot. So we ended up kind of splitting at times. And at one point we split, and it was me and this one girl, and we were going down. It was a blue, and it was like it was really narrow because it was like right under the lift, and so everybody's watching. It was right under the lift, and there wasn't a lot of space. You had trees on either side and stuff. So I was going down, and it was a pretty smooth blue. And then there was this dad and this kid in front of me, and the dad was weaving just back and forth the entire way, and it was like, like just not great. Like he was going not fast enough, and just weaving, and it was like, just pick a side, man, and stick on it. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna like speed past him, right? Like when he makes his cut back left, I'll just speed up the right side, and that'll be fine. Once again, this is my second time skiing. I'm an okay skier. I'm not amazing or anything. So I speed up past him, and as soon as I like speed up past him and get past him, it kind of like steepens, and it steepens at like a weird angle. So it's like, like a slant kind of. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I need to find a place to like slow down, right? I'm like, I don't want to be going this fast. It's kind of getting steeper, and there's no good place to really, slow down. So I'm like, all right, I'll stop here. Like, I'll stop here once I get to this top of this thing. I can kind of cut and be okay. So I make this like slight cut, like as I'm like going up, and I cut to go down, and it turns into blue moguls. And there is literally like, I look up, and there is just this giant mogul right in front of me. And I'm not skilled enough to do anything with this except hit it at like full speed and just go flying in the air, and hit down. And I actually like kind of landed. Like, I didn't fall from landing. I landed, and I was like shaky and wobbly and whatever. But then there was like another one coming up, and I just decided, I feel like it's better not to hit like 3 or 4 of these in a row until I just have some terrible, awful fall. So I'm just gonna bail. So I tried to like roll out to the side. Honestly, I have no clue how I actually fell, because I just know I went to fall in some manner, and then the next thing I knew, my face was smashing into the ground in front of me, and I think my body rolled over itself, and my skis went flying, and one ski was like 30 feet behind me as I rolled down a little bit of this mountain. All in all, people are on the lift right above me, like cheering and hooting and hollering and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. I think you want to pass me on a really tight mountain. Okay, you go ahead. Like, I don't know what you're doing. You're just scaring me now. That's all you're doing. There you go. Yeah, just make the pass on the turn. Perfect. And so I was like, I was like, great. Like, all right, embarrassing, whatever. Nobody knows who I am here. None of my friends, like, only the one girl was with us anyways, and she was filming GoPro, but her battery died like 3 minutes prior, thank God. So I get up, and I go collect my skis, my gear, and I put it back on, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this a little easier. So I start going down again, and it's just like rough and mogly and terrible. And I kick off to the right, like kind of towards the trees. There's like a tree in my way kind of, and I go to swerve around the tree, and I go around the tree, and as I come around the other side of the tree, my left ski runs into a log that is barely sticking out of the ground. I don't see this log at all. This log is barely sticking out of the ground. And so once again, I just go flipping head first, like flip up into the air and basically land. It's pretty powdery because it snowed last night. So I just land like head first, stuck in the snow, once again underneath the lift. And I was like, I'm so done with this ride. I just wanted to get to the bottom of that run so badly. So I ended up, I gathered myself again and whatever, and we went down to the bottom. And we go back up and to the top. We ride the lift to the top of that mountain again. And I was like, all right, let's get back to the other mountain because we're going to go meet up with friends for lunch. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, let's just take this green over. And she's like, well, this black will get us there too. And I was like, yeah, but it looked like it had some heavy, like really deep moguls. Like black with moguls. I don't know about that one. And she was like, she goes, I mean, we'll do whatever you want to do, I guess. Which, is like the most obvious, hey, you should do what I want to do sort of answer that you can give. So we ended up doing what she wanted to do. I was like, all right, screw it. Let's go over to this. And took about 5 seconds going down that black before I was like, both of us were like, yeah, we regret this. Can we turn around and like climb up this mountain and go back down the green, please? It was terrible. We didn't fall. We took it very slowly. Probably took about 15 minutes to get down this black. Maybe not that long, maybe like 10. But regardless, it took time. I will tell you that much. It took some time. And it was just like tons of powder and just like so steep. So steep. I don't even know how they like actually allow that to be something that people go down. I don't know who the first person was who was like, this isn't gonna kill me, like I'll go down this. I don't know who that was or how that happened. So we ended up going down it, and it took a long time. And after that, my legs were basically shot. My whole body was shot. We ate lunch and then basically went back at home to nap before I had to head back to the airport. So that was day one. Got a black in. Wasn't really planning on it. Was planning on maybe doing some blacks, maybe day 2, day 3, starting those up. But, when a girl basically calls you out, I mean, what are you going to do, right? That's what you're going to kind of end up doing. So, it was fun, though. It was fun. It was a good time. And, that's basically my ski experience. I've still got, like an hour and a half of this drive left, at least until I turn around and then drive another 2.5 hours back or whatever. But let's see. I'll talk about Path of Exile a little bit because I'm missing it a little. Like I'm kind of itching to play it some more. I was very shocked, very happy to see how much I enjoyed the game, to see how much everybody else enjoyed the game. That's one of those things that like it's tough to know as a streamer. I guess there were a million signs, and by a million signs I mean a million comments of people saying, hey, play Path of Exile. When are you playing Path of Exile? You should probably play Path of Exile, Mr. Llama. And then of course, what mod are you using? It's Pluggy mod, by the way, for the infinite stash in D2, just as a heads up. But I was very surprised at the response and the positive response from everybody. It really is a fun game, and I see the benefits of it, right? I see that it really does kind of hold true more to the Diablo style, whatever not. The graphics, I actually kind of like them right now. When I watch pro streamers or, like the top PoE streamers, I'm not always 100% a fan of it. Some of the things I think get a little crazy, and so I'm going to have to see how I feel about that as I progress through the game. Right now I'm just using that glacial, I can't even tell you what the name of it is, glacial spike. That's what I'm going to call it. I've invented my own glacial spike witch build, which is amazing, by the way. And if you don't play a glacial spike witch, then you're crazy. That's the new meta. Calling it right now, new meta. All right, hold up. We gotta get more pictures. Look at this. Look at this. Come on, you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm gonna give a side view. Come on. I'm sorry. For people who live out like near this stuff, you're like, yeah, whatever. That's every day. I live in Oklahoma, where the tallest hill. We have a place that we call a mountain. I think it's like 600 feet tall or something. Not even. That would be too much. It's probably 300 feet tall. I'm not gonna lie. 600 actually sounds really high now. It's probably about 300 feet tall. That's about the highest mountain we got. And so when I get out here in places like this, it's pretty amazing. But anyways, right, back to PoE. Glacial Spike Witch. It's the way to go, man. You just go into your tree, buff every AoE spell you can, give it the biggest area of effect you've ever seen in your life, and it just blows things up. I don't know how effective it's going to be late game. That part I can't promise you. It could most likely, almost definitely be terrible. Kind of like if you make a, I mean, there's a lot of builds I can name in Diablo 2. You know, you make like a teeth necro or something. It's like early on you're like, all right, I'm killing things, like it's doing well. And then it's like, wait, teeth don't do any damage anymore. I need to upgrade to something. Or if you make a charge bolt, you know, sorceress, like, hey, yeah, it's great for that first little bit, and then it's not so great. And it kind of falls off, and you got to switch things. So I'm sure it'll fall off at some point, and I'll have to actually figure out a real build and maybe follow a guide and stuff. But I'm having fun screwing around. The tree is massive and ridiculous, and just the most like crazy thing I've ever seen in my life. But that was kind of dangerous. But it's fun. Like, I enjoy it because it gives you, I feel like it gives you a lot of control and unique kind of identity with the character that you get to really kind of play with, right? Which I don't think a lot of other games truly have. I mean, it gives you more control than Diablo 2 even, right? Which is, like, that's something that I think PoE kind of blows D2 out of the water with, is that tree. Because I can sit there and I can be like, do I want more health? How much more health do I want? Do I just want to grab a couple little strength nodes? Do I want to go somewhere that's like +5 max life? Do I want to go into like one of those corridors that's got like the, I mean, I don't know what the technical names are for everything, so I'm just going to call them these weird things, and you guys got to pick up on it and guess what I'm saying. But, oh, we got Popo. Act natural. Hello. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if it's you know, what you call them, but like if you get over into like the Templar area, or I can't really tell you things, you know, where it's got like a bunch of health nodes all together, and then there's like the big one that's like +15 to max life and plus to mana and life regen, whatever things, you know, like you can decide how tanky you want to be. You can decide how much you want to focus on, you know, just getting like stats for your gear. You can decide on if you want to make a double swing sorceress or whatever, which you could probably end up doing that. I mean, I'm sure you're going to have some fall off somewhere compared to like a marauder doing it or something. But there's a lot of freedom to do that you can't quite get in a game like Diablo 2 or like any other game I've really played. You know, you're playing Diablo 2 and you're like, oh, I want to make a, you know, double swing sorceress. Well, you can't, because she can't hold two weapons. Maybe she can in PoE as well. I think she can dual wield weapons. Maybe not. Maybe she can. But, you know, she can't even dual wield weapons to start. But you're like, oh, I want to make a melee source. You're like, you can make an enchantress. That's all you can make. That's all you can do with it, is make an enchantress. Whereas here, like, you have the kind of options to really build your gear and your character out how you want. And that's interesting. I really kind of like that and whatnot. And I'm curious to see more about like how jewels, the gems and stuff that give you the skills, how that all plays per character. Like, could I just make a Marauder that casts Glacial Spike? I'm assuming I can. I don't have a 100% answer on that. I believe that that's a possibility. But the fact that you can kind of do that stuff as well, I think, is pretty amazing. And I feel like it gives a lot of freedom. And that the more freedom that you open in an area like that, the more strategy and the more unique builds and everything that you can have, which I feel like is a problem that D3 has. And maybe Diablo 2 kind of has, like you kind of have your set builds as you go along the way. You want to make, you have a few differences you can make, but even then you're still pretty set. And this, I feel like, opens up a world of possibilities. And it's not really built on your items completely. I'm sure, once again, this is from somebody who has played through 90% of normal, right? I have to beat the Act 4 like boss and a couple other people. But, so I don't know late game if like you're going to always need this specific item to run this build that'll be perfect for this. But from what I've seen in a couple builds that I've looked at, there's a lot of possibility for like adding in rares to kind of supplement your gear as you go along. And once again, all of that kind of adds identity over like, oh, you want to make a, what's the D3 sorceress called? I don't even remember what it was called. But, like you want to make that character, all right, well, put on Talrashas, if you want to make for the 4 elemental one. And that's, it kind of runs very, similar. Like all your gear's pretty set. You want to have this exact boots, this exact, 5 pieces of Talrashas, this, and everything feels a little more set there. And I really like when there's a lot of rares in a game that you have to kind of make determinations on, right? Sit down and say, is this item good? Is this good for my, character? Because it adds a unique factor to it that this isn't just an item that I can, just put in a build and say, this is it. This is the item that you find. There could be a better item that somebody else finds. Just like in, Diablo 2, sometimes people find like godly phase blades, or, it'll be like a crystal sword and they'll up it, or a dimensional blade. But, they find like really like godly rare rings and stuff like that. And they make the determinations, and when all the stats and, affixes kind of roll correctly on it, you can just get godly combinations. And Path of Exile allows you to really, there's a huge crafting game, and once again, I don't know the late game crafting game extremely well. I haven't really participated in it yet, but just from what I've even seen in my own base amount of crafting, where I'm re-rolling the colors, re-rolling the number of sockets, re-rolling the links on them, it adds value to all of those items that allow you to re-roll, so those can become kind of more valuable, and that makes for a great currency in my mind. And then additionally, if you're re-rolling like affixes, and if you, especially when you get to things like the Vol orbs, Vul, Vaal, whatever it's called, you guys help me out here. When you get to those orbs and stuff, it's like, oh, you get a random chance to corrupt it, and it could screw it over. It could give it 6 white sockets. I don't know. Like, there's like a lot of unknown kind of added into it that's really fun. And I think that is what makes a game really great. I think that's what I love about Diablo 2. I love that there's all the crafting scene within that. It just adds another dimension that is really fun, and I like how it works in PoE from what I've seen. I've heard people say PoE late game crafting with the frowny face, so maybe it's really painful, which is possible. I don't know, but so far I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed how it's gone through with kind of my simple run, right? My simple run through without really interacting with other players, and I can see it kind of being better overall, or just being better as the game goes on. So I'm really kind of excited for that, and I'm excited to see kind of the difficulty ramp up. I still think it was some bogus when I died on whatever the Act 3 boss's name, Domino or something. Yeah, Dominoes I think was his name. Dominions, Dominoes, something like that. So when Dominoes killed me, that was some bogus from his raining blood. Because, like, I even knew what bleed was. I read the wiki. I was a good person, and I went to the wiki, and I read all about the different prefixes and suffixes and all of the different, like, kind of crafting stuff and gear and how it all works. And I read about different effects and bleed, and how when you're bleeding, you get 10% health reduction. If you're moving while you're bleeding, you get 60%, or it does 60% of the original damage, whatever it was. I read that stuff, and I knew it, but I didn't know I was bleeding, and I didn't know that I had to be under some bubble. I still don't even know if I saw the bubble that everybody was talking about. I don't even know. It was crazy. So, still think that's some BS. And I imagine there's going to be some bogus deaths like that as the game continues. But yeah, that was one of those where it's like, all the other bosses I could like dodge, and I'd have to learn their attacks as the fight went on. But that one was like, who really knows? But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Still, regardless of that. And I imagine as I go into Cruel and Merciless, are those the next two difficulties? Nightmare Hell, whatever. I imagine as I go through there, it'll be a little more fun here to kind of see what sorts of things are added in. If there's anything like immunities in the game, I haven't seen any immunities yet, but I kind of want to see like if there's any of that stuff, or what they do to increase the difficulty, what sorts of stuff gets added, yada yada yada. So I'm excited to keep playing it. I'll probably play it here and there. I don't really know what my stream schedule is going to be like with that, Diablo 2, and then, because that's my big thing, right? I play mostly Diablo 2, so I want to stream some of that. I'd still like to maybe stream like some StarCrafter stuff here or there, but I just don't know. Like, it's hard to really tell, but I've been enjoying PoE, so I'm going to kind of play PoE for a bit here and mix in some D2 as I go along, and just kind of see where it takes me and how much I enjoy it. I enjoyed Diablo 3 for a few days as well before it got boring. Oh god, I need to go on this road, I think. Wait, which way is east? That way. Okay, let's go that way. But whatever I said, I was saying I was enjoying Diablo 3 for a little bit, and then, that kind of faded for me. PoE might be the same. Right now, I just want to play through the game solo.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-70 East.
Yeah, I gotcha. I just want to, kind of have fun with it, and she's going to yell at me again here pretty soon, I think. Merge, right? And then, we'll just see how it goes. So after I beat the game, I want to play with some people, probably start getting invested a little bit in that. Maybe try some self-found stuff, which I think...
Continue on I-70 East for 51 miles.
51 miles, kill me. We'll see how it all goes. Because I think I'm playing self-found, but I don't know if there's some other self-found that you can do that's different than what I'm doing. All the league stuff right now is kind of confusing for me, so I don't really know. But that's pretty much an update from me. That's got skiing, that's got Path of Exile. I wish I could stream. Obviously, I'm not streaming right now. I got light on my mouth though. It's kind of weird. So I thought I would just post up this video. That light on my mouth is bugging me. Screw it. So I'm gonna post this, and I might stream again tomorrow night or something, just like IRL. I might do a VOD. I might, I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will catch you guys later. Thank you all for watching, for hanging out, as always, and for supporting me in my attempts at Path of Exile. I know I'm not a pro, but I appreciate you guys sticking around, helping me out. Everybody's been great with not throwing too many spoilers or anything like that, just kind of being hype and having fun with it. So I will catch you guys later, and have a good night. Peace.